What's up, everybody? Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit. Market, was waking up pretty nicely Friday, Saturday. Getting a little bit of a pullback, but nothing too bad. So there's a couple things that are concerning that I need to show you, and one of those is on Shiba. So remember when I was talking about Shiba yesterday? If I can find it right there. All right, what did we say? Well, I basically said that obviously we have three down, right? Or we had three down, three up, three back down. So that was the finished three-wave move. And this was a one, and this was a two. All right, we were flagging out in here. Boom, 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 boom. And I said, yeah, we're gonna most likely break out. But then what I said is, once we break out, what happens after that? Does it look impulsive? Or do we get up here and then we get rejected instantly? And that's what happened, right? That doesn't mean it's toast. It just means that the probabilities are less of us breaking out relatively sooner than maybe thought or actually anticipated, right? Because look, we have one, two, three. This is a three-wave move. So now you can look at it as three down, and then we have one, two, three up, right? Because that was the bearish idea, and then we should get maybe three back down and then go up. Or this could be five down, right? So that's the bearish look to it, and that's really the concerning thing for me is this three-wave move. All right, because that means we probably have more down, to be quite honest. Now, that's not the only thing. There's another count, and it's actually very bullish. And what it is we have 3, 3, and 3. So we have our W, our X, and our Y, right? And then we have a 1, and then we have a 2. So a 1, let me do that one more time. A 1 and a 2, right? And then we come up again, 1, 2, right? And then we come up again, 1, 2. So if this comes up again and makes another 1, 2, or even a third, we can really start to accelerate out of here, because it would be a sort of a nest of 1, 2s. You could say like 1, 2, 1, 2, right? You kind of got that slanted looking M shape, and we're about to rip. So we have to pay attention in here, right? Another thing is, this was a range right in here. We broke out, and let's see if we can backtest. You say, why? Who cares about Shiba, right? Well, it's not that I care. It's just, it's very interesting wave structure, and Shiba is definitely is a big market cap. So we got to look at it. It's one of the leaders of the meme coins, and so we have to look at it strongly and see what's really happening here. If I zoom in, because that's a pretty big dump right there. Okay, so just understand that. Today's Saturday. People sell off. Things kind of chill out for a little bit. But what I can see here is a potentially a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? And then we kind of rev up a little bit, and then we hit another 1, and then we have an A, B, C for a 2, right? And we're sort of back testing in here. So here's the thing. If this kind of builds a base, we can get into the retracement levels and then maybe get out. Or we can, come up here and get rejected and then come back down. And then if we come back into this range, right, this range in here, if we break below it, and then we come up and we retest it as resistance, and we can't then get back above it, that's where I would let my SHIB go. My trade, not, I don't hodl SHIB, but my trade. So I've been long on SHIB for a while, just kind of waiting and seeing, I still feel like it's got way more upside to go, but that doesn't mean right away, right? Because, you have to look at it from this perspective. I just don't really like this as a 1, 2, because it looks like 3. So you could look at it as a diag, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So we have somewhat of a diag, which means you probably need to flag out for a little while, maybe even several weeks, right? To sort of reconstruct the chart to break out. You can see we have a lot of price there, right? Strong resistance right in here, right? We have this massive cup, right? And you can see that same area. So it doesn't surprise me if we sort of flag out in here a little while. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy getting through it. But what I do like is we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this could probably be W, X, and then maybe we get Y. So that's the bearish idea. And then, of course, the bullish idea is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And both of them are bullish, by the way. But as far as time goes, we have 3, 3, 3. And then we sort of have like a 1, 2, maybe another 1, another 2, and then we rev up. The way you're going to know what it is how it reacts right in here. And for that, you got to hit subscribe, because I'll be letting us know as soon as I get a read on it. But yeah, that's sheep for us. But look at Theta. Theta's been back. Look at that. Oh, look at that, guys. What happened with Theta? We did it. I mean, it took a long time, but look at that. $1, and it was 90 cents. So it's 188 now, but 190. Remember, that's what I said. I've been saying 190 for months. And look at that. We actually came up to $2. $2. Perfect. So let's do a little bit of work here. And I did put out a video last night, and before that I put out a members video talking about selling strategies and how to maximize or basically an introduction into selling strategies. So if you're interested in something like that, you can go check it out. But we're getting squeezed in here a little bit. So the other chart I remember looking at last night, we had something like this, and it actually took off. So let's do this. Let's go to the daily, and let's look at it with a fresh pair of eyes. Price of Theta. And one of the big things with Theta was getting back to this area, right? And once we sort of sealed the deal and we broke through this, it was really a hop, skip, and a jump, and we were right there, right? So now the idea is a couple different things here. So let me just put a little bit of a line there and a little bit of a line there. So number one, we can either, because we have 3 waves now, right? So for example, we have 3 up, 3 down, and then we have 1, 2, 3, right? So 3 up, 3 down. So that's a complete move if you want to know the truth, right? So because we had a diag in here for that, or not a diag, but sort of like this wedge in here, but it's only 3 waves. See, 1, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 3, right? So we really need, unless it's a 1, 2, 1, 2, which I think it is, we need to, you know, we're revving up the engine essentially to break out of this thing. So here's the idea. Number one, we get up here and we start to flag out in here a little bit, right? And we start to retest some of these areas. I don't think it would take too long because, you know, if you look closely at the 4-hour chart, you can see we've been kind of creeping up. We haven't like really exploded up, right? We had like 3 there, we have 3 there, and we have 3 there, right? So it's not really impulsive. It's more like kind of like a diag in a way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we really need to see maybe a little bit of a cool off in here. So that could be a 1, and then we flag out for a 2, right? And then we go up for a 3. The reason why is because you got to know where we're at. We're at a very, very tough spot right now. Very strong, right? I mean, look at this. Now, granted, we see coins all the time slice right through it like butter. But we can't treat it like that, right? We have to assume that it's going to, you know, it's going to be very tough because you can see all of these points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And now we're right here again. So it's a strong resistance. So it makes sense that we would come down and we would retest maybe $1.60 right around there, right? So that's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is simply just coming back down, resetting, or even just consolidating a little bit and then breaking through. Because really the next stop is about 260, right? So right around that, or I would say about 250. So $2.50, you know, by the end of the year, or yeah, maybe even way sooner. It's hard to know because when crypto moves, it moves fast. So, but yeah, Theta still got a lot of work. You know, we built our base, we broke out, right? But we did so a little bit correctively. So it's not really in high gear just yet, right? So we still got to crack through all of this, which is going to be hard. And then we got to crack through all of this, which is going to be maybe a little bit challenging. So, but here's the thing. Once we get through all of that, that's when I think we have a real shot at alt season because when you zoom out a little bit, right, this was our, well, I would like to say a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So if we can get out of here, we can really start to accelerate up to that $8 to $10 mark. But we have to get through that $2 and 250 cent area, those retracement levels. And so I think we're well on our way. So, but just in the short term, we might have a little bit of struggle, but I think eventually we'll get there. So, and another thing too, when you look at Bitcoin, this is when we really notice when altcoins go nuts, is when Bitcoin pulls back, right? So let's go to like the 4-hour here. Okay, so Bitcoin's pulling back, right? So let's say we pull back a little bit. Altcoins correct as well. But then once Bitcoin starts to retrace, that's when altcoins fly, right? Not all of them, but some of them, right? And then as it kind of consolidates, they fly even more. But when Bitcoin's running like that, altcoins seem to just kind of chill out. But then once Bitcoin gets over 100K and starts to chill sideways in here, that's when they start to run. You can see a lot of them running in here, a lot of them running in here, and you know, some of them run with Bitcoin too. So it's kind of a wide range. It depends what coin you're looking at. But let's take a look at XRP. So XRP, we're pulling back as well. Let's go to the zoomed out look here. So we're right around that 382 area. Okay. Now you could look at it from this perspective. It's probably better to do it from this first, and then once we clear, you see we have two retracement levels. This is a down move, and we have to get all through these retracement levels. This is a down move. We got to get through all of these retracement levels, right? So let's focus just on this one first, and we can see we're right at the 702, right? This is where we would get rejected, right? So if XRP is going to get rejected, it's going to happen here, right? And I would imagine, you know, we would get some level of rejection. You know what I mean? We would get some level of rejection because we're at 702, and we shot up pretty nicely, right? So this would be a really good spot for us to flag out in the fourth wave. Why is that? Because look where Bitcoin flagged out, right? We had 1, 2, 3, and then we flagged out for 4, and now we're getting 5. Look where we flagged out. We actually flagged out near the top. However, we could be in something like this for XRP, which is probably more likely given where we are. So let's go back to XRP here, right? And let me just put the 702 right there. I'll put the 786 right there, and then I'll put that one there, and then I'll put I'll just go like this for the 618 right there. All right, and then I can get rid of that so it's not so cluttered. All right, so again, like with Bitcoin, right, we had 5 waves, 1, 2, 3. This could be where we flag out for 4, right at the top here, right? And then we go up and we hit our 5th. So that's one way to look at it. Another way is to say that, you know what, the 3rd, we're flagging out in the 4th of the 3rd. So I just don't really like it as much, but let me see. So for example, this is a 1, that's our 2, right? And then we have 1, 2, all of that's 3. Then we're going to get some kind of flat here for a 4, and then go up for the 5th of the 3rd, right? And then get that bigger correction, or maybe not that big, but something like that, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at XRP on the small time frames. You know, we had 5 waves. Like basically we had a 1, 2, right? And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1, 2. All of that's 3, and then 4, and then we hit up here for 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? We got a little bit of a 3-wave move here. So maybe we get something like this, right? It's you know, you got to look at the smaller time frames to really gauge what that's going to be like. But a few ideas here. Number 1, this is a 3-wave move. We're one and done, and we're gonna keep moving up, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or if the 5th is in, then this could be 3, or maybe this could be 5. See, it's too early. We don't have the wave structure for this correction to really determine what it's going to look like. For example, if I go right here, all I see is 3 waves, right? So I would expect to get a bounce, and then I move it over. We got a bounce, but look, we only had 3. So I move it over a little bit more, and look what happens. So you would really expect it to go down, but you don't expect to, what it looks like until it happens. So this could just be something like that. And we still have, something like this to go through before we actually get out of there. Right? So, so it's like, how do you know what it's going to do, right? Well, you don't. You have to look at the, obviously the wave structure, where you are in the overall count, but then also just zoom out, right? What depending on your trading strategy, your hodl strategy, whatever it is. For me, as somebody who holds, somebody who invests, I'm not selling XRP, not at these prices. Heck no, right? So for me, it would have to be well above the all-time high. But for a trader, right, we just had, you could say 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we got 5 waves. So, taking profit up here from a trade is perfectly fine, and actually, encouraged. Not financial advice, but anything I say is not financial advice. But for me, this is sort of a little bit of a take profit area for my trade for XRP. Now, what should we expect now? Well, how big this is, right? See, XRP doesn't really, when it moves, it doesn't really have good Elliott wave structure on a pullback, unless you're looking at the smaller time frames. But I really want to see this thing sort of, flag out a little bit, maybe even going back down to $1, which would really hurt a lot of people. But I think it's necessary in order to reset that momentum to then take it back up, because it's all about momentum. Is XRP going up because it's the greatest coin in the world? No. Is XRP going up because Trump won? I mean, it's all about momentum, right? Once we break out, and then this person tells that person, and then the social media spreads, and then they put everything together, and then, oh, look how much money I made, and it spreads like wildfire, and then people just pile on, right? It's called FOMO. It's called momentum. But eventually momentum stalls, right? And where it stalls is typically at the resistance levels. So it makes sense. Look at the last time. This is why it's a dangerous area. Anytime we approach right here, look at that. We had a massive dump. We approached right here. We had a massive dump. We came up. We approached way up here. We had a massive dump. So now here we are again. Could we have another massive dump? It's totally possible, right? Hopefully not, but that's just the way it is. It's too early to tell. We don't really have much wave structure. For example, when this one came down, we actually had sort of a look to it, right? You see how we had that 3-wave move? We came up and we got rejected here, and that was like, okay, and then we came down, we started chilling, and then bam, right? So we don't really want to ride that all the way down. So if we had something like this, right, and then we came up and then we got rejected, right, that would be a good spot to let some go until it resolves itself. Now you can say, well, you let it go too late. You should have let it go, higher up. Well, that's the thing. You have to look at obviously the smaller time frames, number one, and then also dollar cost averaging, right? So taking profits a little bit at $1.55, $1.57, $1.60 if you're lucky, if you grabbed it, and then if it does do that, well, guess what? You already took your profit because you had 5 waves, right? So if this is a 5-wave move, and you at the 5th of the 5th, and you took your profit, and then you pull back down, and then you get rejected, well, who cares? You already took your profit. So, anyways, that's pretty much it for XRP. Again, this is a 1, this is a 2, and it looks like this is a 3. So it would make sense that we're at the 702, the 786, the 886. It would make sense that $1.60, $1.50, this would be the area. Remember what I said going back months and months, is $1.30 to $1.60 is the key area. So that is the most important area to get through. $1.30, which we did, and $1.60, right? So I would imagine that we had a straight line up. I would imagine there's some type of consolidation in here. We don't know what it's going to look like. There's no way to know. But typically, it would be kind of like that. It might be the end of the year, right? It's kind of hard to say because December, you get after Black Friday, you get the Santa Claus rallies, you get the Halloween effect, right? Which is bullish, but I don't know if that can be sustained. So, despite the seasonality, here is January 1st right there, right? So that's not far away, man, so flagging out in here until we hit January, the new calendar year, and then we start to maybe finish up throughout either the spring or maybe even going into next fall. It's hard to say right now. I would probably say around October of next year. It depends on how fast it moves. Now, some of them, like Theta, need a little bit more time because they still, it hasn't gotten through this yet, right? So, anyways, let's keep moving forward here. So, but real quick here, XRP. Let's look at some sequential. Do we have anything? Oh, look at that. I didn't even know that. I just happened to be on the 2-day chart. We have a 2-day 9 sell. It's a perfected 2-day 9 sell. It's perfect. So, that's definitely a sell signal right there. Now, that doesn't mean your hodl position, your investment position. I'm not selling that at all, right? But for a trader, it's okay to take some off the table. Especially if that's what you do for a living, you know what I mean? Like if you're at a job and you're working and you buy crypto, you don't necessarily need the profit because you got a paycheck coming every week, every 2 weeks. So, but as a trader, I it's good to take profit. Let's see where this thing extended to. So if I take a trend-based fib extension, and we've looked at this many times, let's see, we pull it down. I could pull it down to here. I'm actually going to do it. I'll do it from here first. And let's see where we smacked into. Look at that. Look at that. We had a perfect 4.236 extension. That is perfect. We nailed it, guys. We nailed it. $1.60. If I go from to the bottom here, let's see where we're at. We still basically just about hit it. You know what I mean? So I would say that there's a good chance that this wave is probably done. Let's go back in time here and let's look at this. Yeah, see, I don't really have any. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to do it on this one, but let's see, trend-based fib extension. We'll go from the top down to the bottom. Yeah, see, we blew right past that sucker like it wasn't even there. Um, hmm. It would have been really cool if it would have done that. I guess I can measure it like even like that wouldn't even work. So maybe we still got more to go. I mean, who knows? Um, Another thing I need to look at is the market cap of XRP. So let's go to the market cap real quick, and then we'll look at the other coins. Probably gonna be a long video, but it needs to be talked about. Look at that. We basically at 92 billion. I've been thinking about the 589 number, and I'm thinking, what if it's the market cap, guys? Everybody thinks it's the price, 589, or $5.89, or, I keep seeing it everywhere. Even Brad Garlinghouse's followers is 589. They like to, do these little funny things. I'm not all involved in it, but I thought about it, and I'm thinking, it's probably going to be the market cap, to be honest. Because the market cap has totally went beyond this, right? Which gives me a lot of confidence that the price will as well. Because nobody looks at this chart. Everybody's looking at the USD chart. But I think this chart is, in some terms, more important. So let's put up a Fibonacci. This will be the first time let's see, where is the 589 number at? Is it anywhere on here? No, it's actually not. It's actually way beyond that. So, maybe not. Let's see. Let's go to settings. Let's put it on fib. Nope, there's no 589 number anywhere on this chart or on the fib levels. I thought it would be kind of cool if it was. It would actually be somewhere right in here. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. So like 589 is right. Just for fun. Let's see, right about there. Okay, so that would put it at 1.414, it's not really a real fib level, but maybe like 1.45 or 1.46 or 7. 1.4747. All right. Well, 47 is Trump. How crazy would that be? 47. 1.47. Let's try that. 1.47. It should be right around that. No! Stop it. Stop it. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's great. It's not a real fib level, okay? 1.47 is not it is, but it's nobody uses it. But it's kind of cool that it's got 47 as Trump, So, maybe. Who knows? That's funny. I'm actually going to leave it there. So, wow. So we'll put that right there. All right, and then we'll go down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure, because I don't know what it is going to be in regards to the price from where we are. Actually, you know what? In order to get a better measurement, because we had a lot of inflation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it from the all-time high. Okay, and this way I'll get a price. So here's the all-time high. Let me try to get it as best as I could. All-time high right there, and then I'm going to go up. That's 300 and say 57% above the all-time high. Okay, so let's go back to XRP. 357%. Let's see, where'd you go? There we go. No, that's the... Okay, so here we go. Right. By the way, if you haven't seen this chart, definitely screenshot it because I think it's one of the coolest charts, but let's remove that. And now there's going to be two different prices because on the Binance chart, we actually had a higher all-time high. So 300 and say 60%, that would put us at 360%. That would put us at about $16. All right. I mean, that's great. $16. Okay, let's do it from 330 now. Just for fun, guys. Just for fun. It's probably, there's no, you shouldn't base any financial decision off this at all. But just for fun. 330 will go up 360%. About $15. So hey, I mean, you know what? $15. I mean, that makes sense. So theoretically, $589 billion market cap would equal about a $15 XRP, give or take, a little bit. But yeah. Anyways. All right. Enough fun and games. Let's keep moving here. All right. So we looked at Theta. We looked at XRP. We looked at Bitcoin. This is the one I wanted to show you guys. DOT. I did pretty good on DOT. I actually bought it last night. I bought Jupiter. I bought DOT. I think I got Injective 2 days ago. These are just a couple of the trades. Just day trading, nothing serious. ICP, Injective, some of these I'm still holding. XRP, VeChain, Near, Tia, that's another one. Tia finally broke out. I've been thinking, oh man, should I hold it? Should I get rid of it? But no, we finally broke out with Tia. Link, Zcash, these are just the ones I've been trading. DOT was a really good one. CFX, Flow, Theta. Again, these are not my hodls. These are just trades in and out. You know what I mean? So we got Litecoin, Filecoin, and Jupiter, which I'm currently down on. So maybe I might cut it, but I think I'm just going to add to it a little bit later. So taking a look at DOT, look at that. Perfect. Beautiful pump here. We had a 1, and then we had an A, B, C. It was a running flat, and then we jumped up here. So let's see, is the third wave finish? I don't think so. That's a pretty big rejection there, but let's see. Looks like we have a 1 2 1 2. This looks like 3. Okay, we're probably getting a 4, and then maybe we come up, hit the high for a 5. I mean, that's kind of how I would assume. Right, so if this was the correction, or if this was a running flat, either way, I mean, this would be a 1, 2, and then all of that would be 3, and then maybe we get a 4 and then a 5 later. Or maybe it's finished and this thing comes all the way down, right, and it retests, and then you just, you know what I mean? So take your profit. I take 50% of it. And then, figure out what happens in here. get the wave structure, and then redeploy it if it looks nice. So anyways, you can see injective is kind of doing something like that on the small time frames. It comes up here and then it comes all the way back down, you know what I mean? So it traps you in there. But if you look at the larger time frames, it still looks bullish, because you have this impulse and then you have a three-way pullback. That's a beautiful move. That's why I got it. And then you sort of have a 1, 2, 3, maybe we get 5, something like that. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So injective looks good. Jupiter, I bought Jupiter because it has a nice three-wave move, and we had like a 1, 2, 1, 2. So I pulled the trigger, but you know, we're starting to dump. So I can either cut it and wait, or I can just hold it and then write it down a little bit and maybe, you know, add to my position later, because I like this move here. We're flagging out in here. So you're not going to get the perfect entry, but you know, that's essentially what I'm looking for with Jupiter. And I really like it because look at this. You got like a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, that looks pretty impressive. I mean, this thing can really let loose. And I remember a subscriber had asked about it, and I don't, you know, and I can see why. I mean, it looks pretty decent here. Anytime you have a 1 and a 2 that's flagging out, like Bohm and Dog and Jupiter, and there's a few others out there, and then you get 1, 2, 1, 2s, and we're in Bitcoin all-time highs, you know, it sets up a good environment for this thing to really let loose into the third wave. And we can see 1, 2, we can see a big wave 3 in the not too distant future. If I take an extension here and then I bring it down, I mean, you're looking at minimum, you know, $3. You got a 3x on the horizon. But this thing can get up to maybe even almost $7 for a wave 3. So that's where XRP did. Remember, we did the same extension from the bottom to the top, back down to the bottom. XRP hit a full 4.236 extension on the smaller time frame. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this thing could do that during this cycle. Yeah, we looked at DOT, but we didn't look at it on the higher time frames. So I don't really like it a lot because we're still in the base and we came from way down here and we fired up. So I still feel like there's going to be a little bit of struggle in here before we can really get out of there, right? So but I do like it as a 1, 2. It wouldn't surprise. I would like to see it get up here like this, take the top, and then come down for another 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then start to let loose. So either that, or we get up here and we sort of consolidate a little bit, and then we finally get to the retracement levels, and then we reevaluate. Because just like DOT, you know, I only see one wave here. We got 1, 2, right? And this was like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave C, and then we have a 1, we have a 2, 1, 2, right? This thing looks like it could be going for 3, 4, and then we come up and hit 5, and that will be wave 3. So long ways to go, but looks good. ICP looks well. We got a 1, we got a 2, built a little bit of a base here. So very tough resistance levels here. Bohm, I'm not holding. Yeah, I'm kind of trading Bohm, but I kind of let it go for a little bit. I'm just kind of waiting to see. I'm not in any hurry yet. I still feel like it's going to be great. If you bought Bohm on a spot position, I'd just hold it. But for me, I'm trading, and I don't want to hold things that, because you could wake up one morning and this thing could be flying. I want to see it kind of get back to the trend line here. You know what I mean? Because I still think 1 2 1 2 1 2. You got a nest of 1 2s here, so I think this thing can really, when we reach that peak euphoria phase, I think that's when a lot of these coins are gonna start to make their moves. But that could take a little bit of time here. Zcash is definitely interesting because it kind of like it's running up against this thing here. You kind of got, it looks a little bit funny, so we're kind of getting squeezed in here. I wonder, how this is going to play. Either this is a weird looking flat, which is a 1, and then we have A, B, C, and then go, or this is a 1 2, and this is another 1 and then another 2 and then go. But I like how we're sort of, you got the resistance, you're bumping up, you're bumping up, you're bumping up, you're bumping up. It looks like it just wants to break the levee. So Ethereum finally woke up a little bit. Back at the high there. So either A, and then we have 3 for B, and then we come down for C and go. It could be like a running flat, or this could be on our way to back up into these retracement levels, or back at the swing high there. So Ethereum looks okay. Dog, I sold the dog. I sold the dog. I sold him up here because I'm kind of waiting for a pullback. You could see anytime you go red, green, red, green, red, green, you just kind of want to take a breather and wait and see. I still see kind of like a 1, a 2, a 1, a 2. Maybe we get another 1, another 2. But if we start flagging out in here, I'd like to redeploy the cash back into Dog because I think it's going to do well. Dog is a meme coin. I think it's built on the Bitcoin network, or it's something to do with Bitcoin. So, hey, anything attached to Bitcoin, could be very well worth money. The one I really wanted to show you, the one I'm proud of, is Theta. I know people kind of got a little bit doubtful on Theta. I think I maybe saw a comment or two. Thea's not. And hey, I believed you, but I wanted to see it through. I wanted to see how it played out because I've been talking about Theta for a long time and probably driving some people nuts. But I kept feeling like, man, I don't know. Look at this. You got a big impulse. You got a 3-way pullback. You got another 1. You got a 2. This thing looks like it could fire up at any moment, right? So I actually had an order and it didn't get filled. And when I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh, man. That's the thing about some of these coins. They don't fill your orders properly. So what next? Well, we're still in the base. We still got this accumulation base, so we haven't even begun the alt season starts when we break this. Number 1, you got to break the base. Number 2, you got to get through the retracement levels. Number 3, you got to get through the top retracement. Number 4, you got to break the all-time high. And then only after you get all of that, then you can go into alt season. So you got a lot of work here. But, you know, you're buying in here. You're buying in here. When you buy cheap, you got to hold it for a while, right? And let the thing grow, you know, like, have you ever seen those pumpkins that are massive? Like, you know, people just sit there and take care of the pumpkin and they can get huge, right? It's kind of like that. You just have to, you got to be patient, and before you know it, it'll be a pretty massive return. So let's zoom in here and look under the hood and see what transpired in here. Yeah, so I really like this. We had a little bit of a triangle in here. We came up in a 1, and then we sort of had this running flat, A, B, C, and I liked it. We came up here. We were starting to retest. I got a little bit more, and bam, we shot up. But again, one of my orders didn't get filled. Not too bad, though. If we can come back down and retest it, like maybe flag out a little bit, I would have no problem buying more. But I kind of want to see that first. So, looks great. How high realistically can Theta go? Another reason I like it too is because it's a 1-2, right? It's not like, you know, like Solana that had already had so many waves. You know, there's still a lot of wiggle room here. Realistically, this thing can go to at least $35, up to maybe $85, right? So that would be, you know, you're looking at 400% up to even maybe 1100%. And that's just on linear scale. I mean, if we blow through those levels, you know, we can reevaluate later. But that's just basically the face of it. QNT is still working on its retracement levels. With meme coin, again, you had a big pump, you flag out, and then you have like a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. I mean, eventually I think it's going to go either that, or a lot of these meme coins are going to be A, B, C, and then go. Right? Because this could be a trap. Even with BOEM, even with Dog, or what, all the, you know, the ones that look like that. Right? So it could be like a running flat, it could be a regular flat, it could be an expanded flat, or wave 2 already ended and this is a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. The way we're going to know is if we hold this support in here. So we just got to keep an eye on it. I don't own any of this. XLM, just, you know what? If I can go back in time, I would have never even messed with XRP. Honestly, I would have just got XLM because it was actually much more percentage-wise, because XLM was so far down. You know, XRP was like here and then it blasted up. XLM was down here and then it blasted up. So it had a lot more room there. And even with the retracement, it had a lot better retrace. It had basically 100% retrace. So I'm looking at this as a running flat, A, B, C, right? You build your base and now you just explode. So I still feel like a lot more upside is coming. Litecoin, remember I said I would buy Litecoin. I did a Litecoin only video, I think like a week or so ago, letting you know my intentions. And yeah, I mean, I think Litecoin's going to be great. It might be a little bit lackluster in the beginning, but I think, when you look at it overall, right? If you look at, like, for example, XLM, look at this. Same structure, right? Rise, crash, retrace to the top, back down, reaccumulation, sideways blast off. All right? You look at Litecoin, it's the same, literally exactly the same thing. Rise, crash, you have a retrace back to the top, you come back down into reaccumulation, you go sideways, but look, we haven't gotten the breakout. We haven't gotten the blast off. So for example, if I'm holding like XLM, maybe I take 10% of my profit and I roll it into Litecoin, right? Because you got to know Litecoin is going to break out, right? It's just one of those coins that move with the market. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe it just continues to die. I don't know. But you know, we got 5, we got a 3-way pullback, and now we're breaking out, or we got a wave 1 at least. So maybe we get a wave 2, and then we get a wave 3, 4, and 5. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So just kind of looking around here. Render, not really interesting at the moment. Axelar. Yeah, you know, it's kind of reminding me of Theta a little bit, because it's kind of like doing one of those things. So, you know, kind of a wait and see. I mean, you got a 1-2-1-2 here, so it wouldn't, you know, surprise me. It's been consolidating quite a bit. You know, like when you look at Theta, you had a pretty big wave up. But Axelar has actually been going sideways for over a month. So I think it reset its momentum. So I think maybe Axelar could be one of the next movers. So we'll see. Let's see, near. Yeah, you got the bearish divergence there. You know, it looks to me like this is either a wave 1 and that's a flat, and now we're about to go into a third, or all of that's 1, this is A, this is B, and now we're going to get a flat and then go. Right? So I think it's going to be one of those two ideas. Filecoin was really, really good. Treated me well. Yeah, Litecoin, our Filecoin looks great, because we built that base. It was very tight. We broke out. We retested. We came up again. We had like a 1-2-1-2, and now we're sitting up here in kind of middle of nowhere here. Or actually, you know, we got some resistance in there. But yeah, this would be the area to sort of, you know, take a little bit of profit. I know there's profit taking, but once we get through those levels, then you got some more levels, and then a little bit more. You know, it's going to take some time. Because when we go to the 2-day chart, it looks really cool. Look at this. 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, this looks really bullish. So it's not going to go up in a straight line, you know, but it's gonna take its time. Matic, you know, Matic, I just keep looking at it as a 3-wave move, and this thing should get going. I don't hold it right now. Pepe, I wouldn't, you know, for a meme coin, I would much rather look at like Bohm or Dog or Whiff or something like that, because they got a 1, they got a 2, but Pepe has a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Pepe's way up here. Bohm is down here. Dog is down here. You know, it's got more room to go, if you know what I mean. So ADA, whoa, ADA. Let's see, where's ADA at here? Okay, yeah, I was just checking the percentage. Yeah, it still looks really great. I mean, there's no way I could buy it because it went straight up. Because I've already sold my ADA for a trade, but I would like to see it come back down and test this area and then continue. So XDC, I think, is going to be a great winner. You got a beautiful W pattern. I think it's got a long ways to go. IMX received a Wells notice, but now that Gary Gensler's leaving, hopefully that gets resolved. You know, I don't think they're going to get sued. I think they're just going to, you know, we need regulation. Stop suing people and freaking regulate. You know, like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I think IMX is going to break out of that range at some point. CRV, one of the heartbreaks, because I didn't get, I missed it. You know, I just missed it. So can't catch them all, right? Aave is kind of like creeping up. I think it'll keep moving. Flow did well with Flow. I mean, look at Flow. I don't know much about it, but this thing was at what? What was that? Like $40, and we're sitting at 83 cents. I mean, can you imagine this thing getting back just to the all-time high? I mean, you're looking at a massive return. Like, I'll just start it from the base. I mean, that's a 7,000% move there just to get to the all-time high, right? Not even anything else. I don't know if it'll reach it, though. It may. CFX, you got a nice impulse, and you got a beautiful running flat. You're building a base. You know, this thing could get going soon. You know, I tend to look at, I need to get some new charts. I need to get some new coins to look at. You know, Fetch has been a little bit of a disappointment. It's been kind of quiet, right? So I'm thinking, obviously this is an impulse. This is a three-wave move to the downside. This could be a 1, this could be a 2. So this thing could be revving up here for a big move. Back to the retracement levels. Doge. Yeah, Doge is just basically right smack in the middle of the retracement. So I would expect a little bit of a consolidation. You know, you got a 1-2 here. So soon. I don't know why anyone would buy Solana. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. You already got 5 waves. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, Solana can go a lot higher, right? How high could Solana go? I'll tell you. Okay. Solana can go maybe to $1,000. Okay, so if you got it here and it went to $1,000, that's only 300%. It's not a lot. Solana only has about 300%. That's it. You know, so I don't know why anyone in their right mind would hold Solana. It's definitely a safe trade. It's definitely, you know, safe, right? But there's not really a lot of room there. You know what I mean? Like, if we look at like XRP, or let's look at SUI. SUI is a little bit more challenging because you don't really have a lot of history here. But I don't own this one either, because look at this. You got 5 waves. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, and you're at all-time highs. Why would I buy SUI? There's no reason. I don't know where there's just nothing there for me to latch onto. Same thing with this one, Niaro. I mean, it went flying to the upside. I mean, I don't like the way it's correcting. It's correcting like that. I mean, yeah, we can get something like that, but you know, I'm just kind of, there's a lot of other ones out there that are better. So let's look at AVAX. Yeah, I missed AVAX. Like, I would rather have AVAX than Solana. The reason why is because I don't have 5 waves, and let's look at the same extension we did with Solana. 4.236. That gives us about $595, say almost $600. And then from where we are now up to $600. There you go. Now we're talking. Look at that. 1,300%. So what would you rather have? 300% Solana or 1,300% AVAX? You know what I mean? So don't get scooped into this Solana narrative, you know. I mean, yeah, it can go beyond that, but you know, it's just so big of a market cap, and it's not really, I don't see a lot of potential. I just don't. Now, if you've been holding it and you've held it for a long time, that's different. But as far as entering the market now, today, I wouldn't touch it. That's just me. Like, look at Theta. You know, Solana is like right here. Theta is right here. You know, Solana to the 4.236, 300%. Theta to the 4.236, that's a bigger number, right? I'm not going to go through all that again. I mean, Algorand is a good one too. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. Let's see, total three is you know, right at the all-time highs. It could be at any moment. Here's we have 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, and then it looks like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I would imagine you get a 4, and then you get a massive 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully. Anything else? Engine fired up. Finally fired up its engine. Yeah, but it's got a lot of work. See all this resistance in here? You're kind of stuck in there. So I don't like buying things like that. I would much rather it flag out and break out and then retest it and then buy it. All right, Theta Fuel, I talked about it last night. I would rather own Theta Fuel than Solana. I mean, look at this. Remember, basically what I'm saying is don't feel discouraged that Theta Fuel or whatever is not moving. It's going to move, right? And if you look at this, like for example, let's go to XRP. And is this on long scale? Okay, so you know what? From where we are right now to the 4.236, you're looking at about 500%. So you don't really have too much room to go. But I mean, 500% it's still pretty decent, right? And I think it can go higher than that. That's 528 billion, right? Now you go back to Theta Fuel, and then we'll say, okay, what's more likely? And then we'll measure out 500%, and where does it take us from where we are now? I mean, that doesn't even take us back to the 618, guys. You know what I mean? So it's like, maybe I should just sell all my XRP and go into Theta Fuel. All right, I mean, that's a big thing, but, you know, or at least own it, you know what I mean? And when I say Theta Fuel, I'm talking about Theta as well. So, to get to the 4.236, I mean, again, that's a 4,000% move. You're looking at some beautiful, juicy percentage points there. Especially, you know, you got a 1, you got a 2, you got a 1, 2, 1, 2. This thing could be revving up for the 3rd, the 4, and the 5 here coming up soon. All right, so what was the price on the 4.23? It was $3. Okay, yeah, that's a beautiful trade if we get it right. Ethereum Classic. Yeah, I've had this chart for months, at least maybe 8 months, and I've had that arrow there, and I've been comparing it to Dogecoin, right? Remember Doge? Let's see if I can find it real quick. Where are you at, Doge? Where are you at? Somewhere. Did I pass it? There we go, Dogecoin. Let's go to the 5-day chart. Okay, there we go. So look at that. You can see that pretty perfectly. So we're barely at the beginning, guys. So I mean, wow, this is, I mean, as long as freaking Russia doesn't nuke us all, I think we'll be all right. And by the way, I think they're going to scare us. I think the deep state's trying to get us into war. I think they're going to send a missile and they're going to try to scare everybody. Oh, we got a missile. It's coming for Los Angeles. You know, take cover. It's going to panic everybody. And then boom, it gets intercepted in the ocean or something. And it was just a false flag or something. Who knows? I don't know. I think they're basically trying anything they can to get us into war so that they can prop up crude oil, so that they can do other things, you know, causing chaos. But anyways, I think that'll do it for today's video. We covered a good amount of coins. I like to look at a lot of coins so I can get a feel of what everything's doing. You know what I mean? So anyways, that'll do it for this video. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you get the like, subscribe if you haven't already, drop a comment, let me know what you think, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.